Hello everyone, this is me Sharon. Welcome back to my channel. And for today's video, usapang yarn weights muna tayo. Especially for beginners kasi alam ko marami sa inyong nanonood sa YouTube at minsan hindi natin masundan ng maayos kasi parang iba yata yung size na nagagawa natin. Simply because we are not familiar with the yarn weights, lalo na we are so excited pero na-frustrate tayo kasi iba yung size na nagawa natin dun sa size na sinusundan natin. So today we're gonna talk about yarn weights and how important is the yarn weight para sa mga project na gagawin natin, lalo na sa mga sinusundan natin videos on YouTube. So I hope you watch and stay until the end of this video. Okay, so let's talk about my thoughts at first nung nakikita ko yung mga ganitong sign. So akala ko number 6. So, ibig sabihin, 6 na hook or ang recommended size niya is number 6. I was wrong. Hindi pala ganon. Kasi marami ang categories from 0 to 7. And pag pag-uusapan yung yarn weights, pinag-uusapan natin kung gaano kakapal ang isang yarn. Yun ang basis natin para malaman natin kung ang project na sinusundan natin or yung tutorial na sinusundan natin ay makukuha natin yung size na ginagawa niya. Usually kaya nga tayo nanonood ng YouTube at sinusundan yung pattern is to make an exact size, lalo na para sa mga beginners na parang ang gusto lang muna is makita yung outcome na parehong pareho doon sa gumagawa. The yarn weight is categorized from 0 to 7. So ito number 6, super bulky siya, pero merong 0 na lace. Makikita nyo sa screen, yung 0 lace, yung number 1 super fine, yung number 2 fine, number 3 lightweight, 4 medium weight, 5 bulky, number 6 super bulky, and lastly yung 7 na tinatawag na jumbo o yung super lalaking strand na ng yarn na ginagamitan ng mga jumbo hooks. Yun ang mga tinatawag na ultra or roving. Okay, so kung makikita nyo itong yarn na to, which is common sa mga school supplies na mabibili malapit sa inyo, ito yung usual na makikita natin yung mga pinantatali sa notebook. So, love knots, hand knitting, and crochet yarn. High bulk acrylic. Yun, ayun ang maker niya. And makikita mo, recommended hook size, diba? It's confusing kasi number 4 and then nakalagay recommended hook size. I'm not sure if this is reliable. In this case kasi yung number 4 na category, kung titignan nyo, is a medium weight yarn. So meaning it could be like a worsted, aran, ganon. So if you are quite confused like me, kasi parang diba, yung yarn weight nga is yun ang kapal, and dapat yung hook size niya is yung may symbol na hook na nakalagay instead of just using this kasi nakaka-confuse, diba? So you can use a wraps per inch tool. Yun yung ginagamit ng mga crocheter to measure the thickness and para makategorize nyo kung ano yung yarn weight niya. So, I have this tool na ginawa ko, nilagyan ko ng tape, and then ang measuring nito is dapat nasa 1 inch, and then i-wrap mo yung yarn. Make sure it's not too tight, not too loose. Just enough para mapag dikit-dikit mo or hindi nag-overlap yung mga yarns pag nirarap mo siya. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So, 13 wraps per inch. So, ibig sabihin, we have 13 wraps per inch. This is categorized as lightweight yarn. So, ibig sabihin, hindi siya number 4. It's a lightweight yarn. Also, kung meron kayong wraps per inch tool na nabili online like what I just bought, ganun din naman ang lalabas. So, if you don't have this tool yet, you can use the pencil naman. So, pareho din naman ang result na kalalabasan niya. So, this one is a lightweight and merong chart na pwede kayong makita online kung saan makikita nyo kung ano yung recommended hook size for the lightweight yarn. So, ginugol ko lang siya and makikita nyo ginawa nating wrap per inch after nating i-test sa wraps per inch tool, lightweight number 3 yon dito. So, ang nakalagay is ang recommended suggested hook size for crocheting sa lightweight is 4.5 to 5.5 mm crochet hook. So, magtataka kayo kung bakit hindi pare-pareho yung parang may range yung sizes ng hooks na pwedeng gamitin out of these particular yarn. Kasi, may mga projects tayo na gusto natin medyo airy. Airy means parang may konting mga gaps, ganon. Hindi dikit-dikit yung stitches. That's why we're using a bigger hook than the recommended size. Ngayon, pwede nyo namang i-test eh. Say for example, let's get some 5 mm crochet hook. Actually, later ko lang binili. Hindi naman ako mahilig ng yarn since hindi naman ako masyadong gumagawa ng mga garments or mga crop tops. That's why I don't normally use the wraps per inch. Gumagawa lang ako ng mga bags depending dun sa gusto kong stiffness ng yarn. So, yung hook, tinetest ko muna siya with the yarn. Like, in this case, 5 mm crochet hook to. It's a Susan Bates crochet hook with bamboo handle. So, gumagawa ako ng chains. Now, kung makikita nyo, wala siyang masyadong gaps, diba? So, you can make a swatch or make a sample. Yun ang tawag nila in English, swatch. So, I'm going to work a few single or double crochet stitches. Ganyan. To see if magdidikit-dikit ba yung stitches ko. So, this is a good practice, lalo na if you're planning to make a bag, ganon, and gusto mo mas matigas ng konti yung mas dense or dikit-dikit yung mga stitches. Hanggat hindi sumasabit yung mga yarns, yung yarn sa hook every time na nagko-crochet ka, ibig sabihin okay pa siya. So right now, kung makikita nyo, may mga konting gaps pa, diba? Using 5 mm. So if you want your project to be like a bit softer or medyo okay sa inyo yung gaps, you can use this one. But if gusto nyo naman is dikit-dikit or parang medyo gusto nyo mas matigas ng konti, you can use a smaller hook. Alright, this one is a Japan surplus hook na nabili ko online. This is Clover Classic. So as you can see, yung smooth yung hook niya, maganda siya. I love it. So if you're looking for branded crochet hooks na second hand, I suggest na tumingin kayo sa mga Japan surplus na malapit sa inyo, or kung wala, online. Kasi maraming murang mga Clover and Tulip crochet hooks na talagang branded. At hindi kayo magsisisi kasi smooth gamitin, para na rin kayong nakabili ng mamahalin. Wala nga lang handle. Now, we're going to crochet with 4 mm or yung smaller hook. Diba? So, okay pa rin siya. For me, hindi naman sumasabit-sabit. And because I have a loose tension, or I should say, I'm a loose crocheter, Hindi ako masyadong tight mag-crochet kasi nakakangalay pag mahigpit yung hawak mo ng hook saka ng yarn sa left side. So, ganyan siya. So, medyo may slight difference when it comes to crocheting. Parang, of course, mas maliit yung stitches sa mas maliit na hook dahil nga magiging dense ang stitches or dikit-dikit. Ganon. So, kung i-compare ko yung video kanina saka sa ngayon, medyo parang walang pinagkaiba, but may pinagkaiba siya sa tension. Of course, magiging mas dense yung stitches nito. Mas matagal nga lang. The more na manipis ang yarn, maliit ang hook, mas matagal ang project na gawin. So, it's best if you're a beginner to use different set of hooks. I suggest na bumili kayo ng mga hooks. Kung hindi pa kaya talaga na bumili online, don't worry. Crocheting is a cheap hobby. It doesn't have to be very expensive. Kasi itong mga ito, nabili ko sa Japan Surplus. Sometimes they would sell it 200 kasama na yung lahat ng yarns. May nakita ako dun sa isang post ng fellow crocheter natin. Nabili niya isang ganito saka mga 10 pieces or more na yarns for just 200 pesos. So imagine that. Napakamura for such high quality kind of yarns kasi galing Japan yan. And if you're gonna check isa-isa yung mga Japan surplus na yarns, those are actually premium yarns that are sold second hand online or sa mga Japan surplus. So make sure to check your nearest Japan surplus if ever gusto nyo makatipid sa mga branded quality hooks. Actually, yung mahal na isang set nito na Tulip, or yeah, I think so, Tulip yata. Yung isang maliit na may kasamang organizer would cost you 1,000 pesos plus. So, imagine if you're gonna buy this at a Japan surplus, baka mga 200 or 150 to 600 yung isang set na may kasamang organizer. Minsan bago-bago pa. So when you're learning yarn weights, yung mga iba't ibang yarn thickness, so make sure to get the chart. Madali namang i-google yon. And gumawa kayo ng wraps per inch tool nyo. You can use the pencil. This one. Yan. Ito namang wraps per inch, I bought this 100 plus, and if you'd like to buy this one, I will add the link in the description box. Ang kagandahan sa ganito is, of course, hindi nyo na kailangan gumawa nito, but it's just the same. Irarap nyo kasi not overlapping. So, parang halos pareho lang naman din siya kahit sa pencil na ganito. Or, dito nyo gawin, walang hassle. Ang maganda lang, if you have this kind, hindi ka natitingin pa sa chart kung ano yung niya, no? Kung ano yung klaseng yarn siya, kasi makikita mo super bulky, aran, worsted, DK, sport, fingering, lace. And then ito yung number of wraps na magdedetermine kung ano yung yarn weight niya, kung ano yung yan. So for a beginner, I suggest na you check the yarns that you have bought. Alam ko yung iba sinusundan mo na yung pattern. There's nothing wrong with that kasi we learn in different ways. Hindi naman kailangan alamin ng basic, but of course I think we have all learned the basics when we studied in school, diba, sa home economics subject or THE. So ito naman makikita mo nakalagay is bulky yarn, diba? So this means ano siya, yarn weight siya, hindi siya actually recommended size. So I think if you're gonna base the recommended hook size dito sa number 4, I think this is wrong. Pero sana matama, 'di ba, nung mga yarn maker para naman makategorize para mas mabilis maibenta sa mga crocheters lalo na. Kasi nakikita ko lang ito sa mga school supplies, pinantatahi ng notebook. This one naman is a paper yarn. And the recommended hook size is, ayun, nakalagay yung symbol niya na hook, 'di ba? May pang knitting needle, meron pang hook 8 to 10 mm crochet hook. nakabili kayo ng mga Baguio yarns, ito naman is Indophil. This is my favorite kind of yarn. This is the most affordable yarn that you can buy online here in the Philippines. And I'm not sure if madali siyang i-measure sa wraps per inch tool kasi nga untwisted yung yarns na to eh. And what I usually do pag sa mga ganitong klaseng yarn, I don't trust the WPI tool, sa totoo lang, dahil based on my experiences, kasi ito yung mga unang hook na ginamit ko before. I usually use 3.5 millimeter crochet hook with this one. So let's say I'm using 2.3 millimeter. Okay, mas maliit to sa 3.5. So ang ginagawa ko is I make a chain first. Yan. So pwede siya from 2.3 na hindi sumasabit-sabit. Because usually mararamdaman mo naman na medyo hirap yung or sumasabit-sabit yung yarn sa hook habang nagko-crochet ka. It could mean na sobrang sobrang kapal ng yarn para sa hook. So for me, using 2.3 is not bad. Medyo dense nga yung stitches niya eh. So mas maganda siya gamitin for bags. Medyo stiff. Kasi if you're gonna use like if you have seen my shawl, triangular shawl tutorial, makikita mo doon na I have used this particular hook, this 5mm crochet hook, diba? Kasi gusto ko yung stitches medyo airy siya or medyo may gaps or parang may lacy effect, ganon, para bumagsak. So makikita mo ngayon yung ginawa kong shawl, ano siya, may bagsak siya, softer, kasi nga yung stitches niya hindi ganon kasiksik. So meron mga projects na ginagamitan tayo na hindi kailangang masikip yung mga stitches para maging airy or bagsak. So depende nga sa tension lahat yan. If you're going to use a recommended hook size for that particular yarn, mapapansin nyo hindi siya masyadong airy. So for this kind of yarn, diba, you can use 2.3 or number 3 hook kasi ito in millimeter siya. This one naman is number 3. Yan. So makikita mo medyo matigas at hindi siya airy or dikit-dikit, dense yung mga stitches niya. Maganda siyang gawin for making purses, bags, ganon, para over time hindi luluwang agad kasi nga siksik yung mga stitches niya. And then what I do next is tinitingnan ko dito yung mga hook sizes na ginagamitan ng 2.5 to 3.5. So ngayon parang doon ko na lang binibase na super fine siya kung ganon, kasi we can use this particular hook. Yan. So ganun ako mag size. I don't know if it's weird, but since wala siyang label na kasama when I bought this one, and I actually did a lot of experiments using different kinds of hook with this one. So that's what I do. I try to follow the yarn weight based on the hook that I have used. Kasi parang if you're going to wrap this in a wraps per inch tool, like what I was trying to do before, parang hindi mo masusukat yung size ng maayos. Kasi nga hindi siya, alam mo yun, hindi siya katulad ng ibang mga yarns na twisted together. Ito. So, hindi sila twisted together. And sometimes, there are some projects na nagawa ko that it has almost the same size with this kind of yarn that I've used in the same project. And take note that there are some Indophil 4-ply yarns that are much thicker than other colors. So nakita ko siya when I was combining different colors of the same kind of yarn Indophil, and then nakita ko mas maninipis yung white kaysa dun sa red na Indophil. So minsan nakaka-frustrate because kahit pareho naman ang ply, pareho naman ang 4-ply, but of course pag pinag-combine mo na, mararamdaman mo na medyo iba yung yarn weight ng ibang kulay. So yun na nakaka-frustrate sa akin, and I had to use different colors, and I had to frog sometimes kasi halata mo na iba yung yarn weight kahit pareho sila na Indophil. So this wraps per inch really helps a lot, and of course it helps a lot to know the different yarn weights. Like what I have mentioned a while ago, you have to check online yung chart from 0 to number 7 yarn weight, and then of course yung name, like makikita mo super bulky, iron worsted, but of course we have to know the symbol for that and the recommended hook size, which you can find easily on Google chart. Madaling i-download yung image ng chart na yon, so that you will have a reference. Importante siya when you're following a pattern online, like you want to know what specific size is that, or pwede ko bang i-combine yung parehong number 1, yung super fine, para maging lightweight siya, para if makagawa ako ng same project as the one I'm following on YouTube, pareho sila ng size, 'di ba? So that's what I do. I usually do double pull sa ibang mga yarns like yung Lanalon. So this one is a Lanalon yarn. So twisted siya na ply. So ilang strands ba sa isang Lanalon? I think there are 2. Yan. And ito madali mong ilagay sa tool kasi nga ano siya parang rounded yung strand niya, madaling pwedeng hindi mag-overlap. But of course for me kasi, what I usually do again is to use the hook. I'm not sure if others are doing this, but this is more convenient for me. I use different kinds, different sizes of hook to check kung ano yung pwede. Like ito, Clover to, na Japan surplus, 2.3 mm. Just like the one na na-try ko. So usually ganitong hook yung pinaka-convenient sa akin for me, and I love using number 1 kind of yarn weight, yung mga number 1 ganyan. Yan. So kung makikita nyo, medyo may gap pa ng konti, di ba? So you can use 2 mm if you want a dense stitch, yung dikit-dikit na stitches. So for me, number 2, and classified din as number 1, like this one. Kaya ang ginagawa ko, dino-double pull ko siya. So kukunin ko yung pinakadulo ng yarn dito sa labas and yung dulo ng yarn sa loob. Ito, ginamitan ko ng yarn winder kasi nag-loose na siya. Usually center pull talaga ang ginagawa ko. So dito ko kinukuha para kahit wala akong yarn holder, hindi siya gagalaw kasi sa gitna mo kinukuha, di ba? So ganun lang ako, and kapag double pull ang ginamit, magiging lightweight siya. So sometimes pag nakakagawa ko ng project, parang similar lang siya sa gusto kong, like this one is a lightweight, so parang nagiging ka-size niya na kasi nag-double pull ako sa ganitong klaseng yarn. So knowing the yarn weights, you will be able to make the same size of project with the one you're following on YouTube. Lalo na if, for example, wala ka pa talagang mabilhan na yarn na gusto mo and you have the specific yarn on hand na like, ang hindi nawawala kasi sa akin is Indophil because this is the most affordable. So when I was a beginner, I used to hoard different kinds of these yarns kasi maraming available na colors. Although of course, if you're a beginner and using untwisted plies, parang mahirap talaga sa umpisa. But once you get used to it, kahit yung curly cotton, makakayanan mong gawin yan. Napakadali lang talaga. As in, if you make a lot of time, you practice a lot, and then you can make a lot of projects. These days, ang pinaka-trending na nakikita ko na mabili talaga is yung headset cover. Alam naman natin na malaking porsyento ng population natin, especially sa mga youngsters, ang nasa call center ngayon, they're using headset, and sometimes they want something to protect their ears, diba? Lalo na kung ginagamit ng iba yung headset. So, you can use a cover para nga naman protected ka. And at the same time, washable kasi yun eh. Yun. So, iba mga crocheter, they can make their own. Yung iba naman, namimili. And I think nakita ko ang range ng prices from 60 pesos, from 70 to 100 plus. So, yung iba nakaka-sale ng ganon, 1,000 per month. 1,000 units per month ang sale, di ba? So, doon pa lang kahit na hindi mo na kahit yun lang ang alam mong gawin, you can make money out of crocheting. So anyway guys, I hope hindi kayo nalito. Ang dami-daming yarns na iba-iba ng yarn weights, like this one. Ito naman, it has label but it doesn't have the specific recommendation na hook size na gagamitin. And upon using this wraps per inch tool, nalaman ko na ano siya, bulky type, kasi nasa 7 plus yung ano, hindi siya super bulky, it's just bulky. So iba yon. And then of course we have this one, although yung karamihan sa atin gumagamit ng mas manipis pa dito, which is I think more appropriate to make a bag kasi ito actually masakit ito sa kamay eh. Ito size 4mm, and I have used like 3.5mm for this one. May mas manipis pa dito, and they usually use this for bags. Marami siyang sizes. Ito pa, small pa lang to, meron pang tiny cords. If you plan to make some bags, ang pinaka-sturdy talagang gamitin is yung mga tiny cords, which I don't use most often kasi nga nakakasakit mag-crochet using this one. Sa mga Japan surplus naman na yarns, may makikita rin kayo ng mga symbol like this one, oh. Crochet hook, 8 to 10mm ang suggested na hook size. So, wala nakalagay na category, or kung meron man siguro in Japanese yan. Pero, makakatulong na rin if they have this recommended hook size. Pwede mong tingnan sa chart kung ano ba yung usual na hook size for the recommended yarn weight. So, doon pa lang makikita mo na ang yarn weight nito could be like bulky, gano'n. Sa mga beginner, usually dito tayo nag-start, diba? When we were in elementary, ito, wala din itong category. This one is a 3-ply, merong 5-ply, pero when I checked, almost the same kasi malaki lang ng konti yung thread ng 5-ply, and you can use maybe 2.5mm sa 5-ply. Ito naman ginagamit ako ng 1.75 to 2mm crochet hook. You know, that's the biggest size na kaya kong gamitin kasi nakakangalay nga when you're using smaller hooks. So this ones you can use para sa mga table runners, pwede rin crop tops kasi made of cotton yan. And for me lang ha, for me, if I would make a project, it's either doilies, table runners, or crop tops. Kasi para sa akin, pag cotton yung yarn, maganda siyang isuot, hindi mainit. And I've used milk cotton yarn nung gumawa ako ng bucket hat. So, pwede magkasya ang isang adult bucket hat using just 100 grams of this milk cotton yarn. This one is soft, but it's not as soft as any premium yarns. This one is the most affordable milk cotton yarns. Bakit kamo? Kasi meron akong nakikitang binebenta na milk cotton, pero mas maliit ang size, hindi siya bulky. It's worth about 40 pesos, 50 grams. So, ito 100 grams, 70 pesos. So, hatiin mo, 35 per 50 grams. 'Di ba? So, mas mura yung bibili ka ng ganito. But, of course, this is a bulky type. So, you have to use a bigger hook for this. I used 6mm or 6.5 dun sa bucket hat. Also, I have bought this Ogo. Ito yung Bernat na chenile yarn. And this one, it's Caron naman, Colorama. So, papakita ko yung full video about my review on this in my next video. Kasi, sobrang mahaba na tong video na to for the yarn weights. And, yeah, hopefully, meron ako maisip na project so that I can share it with you na pwedeng gawin using these new batch of yarns that I have. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!